Hi, this is Michael Rony Mullick, and you're watching the post market show. And again, markets have been today. It was a complete pump and dump in the last few days. So markets have been pumped up to a huge level. Markets broke 18,000 levels, and people were expecting now the markets will go and touch all-time high. But again, what a massive fall we saw in the markets today. And this has been again more or less expected because US markets were negative, global markets were in fact negative, and our markets were continuously outperforming. But somewhere the buying exhaustion had to come, and it came, and it was the FIIs who had been the net sellers, and they have sold huge quantities today, and especially they were the ones responsible for the markets falling so much. So overall, market Nifty has broken a very important trend line, and now it is back within the channel. And again, on a weekly basis, Nifty has become negative, a huge red candle forming on a weekly candle. So that is definitely not good for the markets in the coming days and weeks ahead. So let us discuss the market and how the things transpire today. So if you open up the 15-minute chart in Nifty, you will see that it opened with a gap down, and as expected, we have said in the morning as well, 17,800, if that is broken, definitely go bearish. We had expected a range of 18,100 on the upside and 17,800 on the downside, and I had said whichever level the markets will break, that will be a trending side, and 17,800 was broken today, and what a good trend we caught today. So hopefully the trending people had gone short in these levels, and they had made a good amount of profit. And we discussed 17,635 as an important support, and it did act as an important support. Market bounced off from these levels, and then but 1 o'clock a huge selling came, and markets could not hold that level. It fell further, but after 2:15 p.m. there was a good recovery, and people were expecting markets to bounce back to days high. None of that happened. At 3 p.m. to 3:05, just 15 the 5-minute candle, market shot down from 16,116 to breaking 17,500. It came down at 17,497. So more than 100 points in just 5 minutes. Markets have been extremely volatile, and people have lost huge amount of money, those who thought that markets will reverse right now during the end. And so markets ending at the lowest point of the day, just like yesterday. Nifty closing at the lowest point of the day. Today same thing happening. Definitely not a good thing for the markets, so expecting further bearishness in the markets. Coming to Bank Nifty was decent is what I can say, 1.05 percentage in the red. So it was banking stocks actually did not perform as bad as the rest of the sectors. So it was banking sector, in fact, same thing. It opened with a gap down, tried to break the day's high, and then it came under severe selling pressure, but again towards the end it recovered. But Nifty did not recover, and the main reason for that is Nifty IT index and also Reliance Industries. So Nifty IT index is down by 3.17 percentage today. So again, Nifty IT has been dragger. If you look at the daily candle, you will see that the way the Nifty IT has fallen. So I think 1 2 3 4 4 trading sessions, and if you look at the percentage fall, it is down by more than 10 percentage, more than 9.3 percentage in the last 4 days alone. So Nifty IT has been particularly weak, especially TCS and Infosys has been targeted, and they have been sold off like anything. So it was Nifty IT dragging the show. PSU Bank in today did not perform well, 2.3 percentage down. In fact, Nifty Auto came under selling pressure, 1.93 percentage down, and Nifty FMCG, Nifty Auto down by 2.7 percentage. Again, major bearishness, and Nifty FMCG was also down by 1.93 percentage. It was a cross-board selling, and only sector which did not fall that much was Nifty Private Bank Index, 0.75 percentage in the red, because ICICI Bank was its all-time high. It came down from there. So if you look at the banking stocks, ICICI Bank, it has it's like an evening star pattern formation, but we have to wait and see. If 900 is broken on ICICI Bank, we will go extremely bearish. HDFC Bank, which just a few days back it broke 1500 levels, was at 1538, but then today it came down below 1500 again. That is not a good sign. IndusInd Bank, because of some news on the inside, it shot up despite the markets being negative. And Adani Enterprise finally ending in a red, 1.24% in the red today, finally, after many days. So that is again major news. And Adani Ports also down by 3.13%. So Adani group of stocks finally seeing some selling pressure in this market. Talking about Infosys and TCS, there's nothing much to say. If you look at the 15-minute chart, you can see the massive fall coming in at 3 o'clock. So Infosys fell like anything. TCS, same thing. It almost broken. It made a low of 3,000 today, and so just a few days back it was at 3,400. From there it came down to 3,000, almost 400 points down in a matter of few days. So TCS looking extremely bearish as well. So that's there. And two stocks we talked about on the power sector. I said I was bullish on the power sector, and still my view has not changed. So NTPC, despite the markets falling by so much, it fell 1.3%, and Power Grid even doing better, 0.8% down. So these two sectors, I still believe if the markets are to recover, these will recover the fastest. So that is there. And again, Reliance Industries, the nifty heavyweight. So Reliance Industries is below 2,500 levels, and thus is a sign for major bearishness. 2,499 is the level for Reliance, and not looking good is what we are seeing. So that is the Indian markets today. If you look at index movers, nothing much to say. It was Cipla and IndusInd Bank doing pretty well today. Apart from that, every other stock has ended in the red. Top losers include Reliance dragging alone by 50 points, Infosys dragging by 47 points. So Infosys, Reliance, HDFC Twins, TCS, ICICI Bank, everything is in the top losers. So there's nothing much to discuss. FIIs have turned net sellers for 3,260 crores today, and DIIs have also not supported the markets, selling for 36 crore as well. No wonder the markets are down so much, because institutions are net sellers again for the second consecutive day, and this is not at all a good sign for the next week as well. Now coming to the global markets, and let us see where the things are headed over there. So everything is negative. German index down 1.6%, French index down 1.3%, UK markets are down 0.34%. It shot up, but then it fell as well, is what we are seeing. Now coming to Nasdaq, it is close to its 52-week low, down by 1.4%. S&P 500 down by 1.5%. So resistance support was also broken. 3,900 was a support for S&P 500, that was broken. 12,000 was a major support for Nasdaq, that is broken, and it has fallen much further than that. It is at 11,750. Dow Jones also down by 1.19%. So there is no respite whatsoever in the US markets. Continues to fall and fall. US VIX is very close to 30. It is at 27.48. Not a good sign. India VIX is at 19.8. It shot up 7% after today's fall. Crude oil prices have not changed much, so at least on that front things are looking fine. And also we can see gold has increased slightly, but let's see how much it happens. Dollar index has increased again slightly. It is at 109.8. So unless and until dollar index comes down, there is again no chance for the markets to recover globally. And next week also we have the US federal interest rate decision, so that is also pending. Again, expecting a major bearish movement there on that day as well. So last like this week's Tuesday, markets opened with a huge gap down but shot up. Next Wednesday, the US federal interest rate will come, and effects will be felt on Thursday, so we have to see how the markets react then. Open interest wise, Nifty, Bank Nifty extremely bearish. Nifty put call ratio is at 0.49. Huge amounts of call has been written across board. 17,600, 700, 800, 900. The people closed their eyes and sold call options. And on the upside, Bank Nifty 41,500 seems to have the highest OI, and intraday basis 41,000 added, huge amount of call OI, indicating markets are bearish in the, at least for the next week, is what we are seeing. So let us see what happens on Monday, and we will discuss about everything in detail, whatever events are coming next week on Sundays week ahead show. But till now, Nifty has become bearish on a weekly basis, and you can see this channel which we had talked about. So let me zoom out a bit. So this blue lines indicates the channel, and market is again back into that channel. So that is definitely not a good sign for our markets. And so let us wait and see how things turn out. Right now it is, if you are planning to invest in the IT stocks, maybe it is a good time to invest. Again, don't go all in at once. Maybe invest 25% of your fund at these levels. Again, if it's only on for a long term horizon. Short term markets can go even down, but on the long term markets are tend to be stronger. So again, you can exercise caution and invest whenever there's a further dip in the markets. So I think that covers most of the things. So support wise, what we will be looking at next week, if you want to know, that is first 17,450 should be a support. Next 17,220 is what I'm looking at, and finally 17,000. These are the levels I'll be looking out as support, and today's high can be marked as an important resistance. If this high is broken, then markets will go up to 18,100. Bank Nifty wise, 40,000 should hold now, and before that 40,300. These two levels are key support areas for Bank Nifty. On the upside, definitely today's high of 41,128, 41,150, and then again 41,800. These are the resistance areas you should be watching out for. So these are we have discussed most of the things, and again, let us see how the US markets end. Things are looking bearish, and it had to come in the Indian markets. Indian markets are now looking slightly bearish for the next week at least. But again, Indian markets were very close to its all-time high, and from there it came under profit booking. So at least we are still better than the global markets. Global markets, all of them were very close to their 52-week lows, and from there they are falling. So if you consider that side by side, Indian markets are doing pretty well, I think. And again, this kind of profit bookings are expected, and this year has been volatile, and the volatility seems to continue. So let us see for at least the next week, and we will go short term, 1 week at a time, and let's see where we end up. So I think we have covered most of the things. Thank you for watching, and have a very good weekend.